I'm guessing you would agree with that idea that, yes, his backbenchers may be supportive, but clearly elsewhere in the chamber, but in the public at large, there's a lot of people with a lot of misgivings about this Prime Minister.
I think you're right. One thing I would say is I thought the response from the Conservative backbenchers was quite muted. Lots of Tory MPs left quite quickly during the statement. It's almost as they were embarrassed at the way the Prime Minister was defending himself. He said he was sorry, but I think everyone knows he's just sorry he got caught. This is a Prime Minister who broke the law, who presided over Number 10, who wasn't just partying when it was illegal. They were partying in a disgusting way. They were treating security staff and cleaning staff in a quite outrageous way, but like a bit like a Bullingdon Boy club member from Oxford, i.e. the Prime Minister. And you know what? I think those embarrassed Conservative MPs, they might still take action. I hope they do. I think it's their patriotic duty to get rid of this Prime Minister. He's not fit to lead our wonderful country. And let's see if they do. Certainly Liberal Democrats will continue our call that he should go, not least because we need someone with the trust of the British people to help us through this economic crisis that's hitting millions of pensioners and families.
Ed Davey, just on that, I'm looking at some of the emails that are coming in. Let me put a couple to you. I'll start with this one from Anne. No surname, I apologise. But Anne says, that photo, we've been flashing it up for pretty much all day, that photo with all the sandwiches looks to me like a socially distanced work lunch. How, asks Anne, is that a party? So, Ed, what say you? How is it a party?
Well, I'll tell you what, I went to school in my constituency with a number of teenagers, and this was during this whole long-running saga, and they said to me, did I think it was a party or a work event? And I said to them, oh, I'd like to know your opinion. And these teenagers, they said to me, well, it was clearly a party, wasn't it, sir? Do you know what? I think the majority, probably the vast majority of the British people, they could see it was a party. The Prime Minister, is trying to pretend that he didn't know it was a party, that he thought it was a work event. I don't think anyone believes him. I think this is a Prime Minister who lies on an industrial scale. And people I've talked to on the doorstep during the run-up to the local elections just recently, they kept saying they don't trust him anymore. And, people need to reflect on that.
OK,
and millions of people don't trust the Prime Minister.
And maybe those MPs, and maybe those MPs at the 1922 committee will be reflecting on it too. Just one other email while we have time. Linda, again, apologies, no surname. Linda says, my son lives in Germany, and they're laughing at how we're spending so much time on this. They can't believe that the events are being called parties. Do we run the risk sometimes? I mean, I think a lot of people, I'm probably one of them, that likes the fact we are so punctilious. But I guess from the outside looking in, it can look almost petty. Well,
if you talk to the families of people who've lost loved ones, the bereaved families, you'll hear a different story. They weren't allowed, because the Prime Minister told them, they weren't allowed to be with their loved ones as they died. And I'm afraid I think it's incumbent on every MP to listen to those bereaved families. And I hear what Linda says, and I respect Linda, but I have to say I respect those bereaved families. I respect the NHS staff, the care staff who put their lives on the line for us in a most serious situation. They obeyed the law. Nurses across our country, doctors, carers, they didn't have work parties. They knew what was at stake. And so I have to say, on behalf of those bereaved families, on behalf of those NHS workers, on behalf of those care workers, who I salute again today, the Prime Minister should go. He broke the law. We shouldn't have a Prime Minister of our great country, a lawbreaker. And the fact he doesn't realise that makes him one of the most indecent Prime Minister this country has ever had.